Hey, welcome back to the Virgo Channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Laura. I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid, roles could be reversed. Always interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Never force anything, especially on this channel, because I like to look at everything. We like to look at the spiritual blocks, shadows, see how they play out as karmic themes within your experience. This will not just help you to understand why your person does what they do, but it will help you heal. A lot of times when people don't treat us well, um, it says so much more about themselves than it does about us, and we forget that. We forget. We tend to take it on as if, you know, you did this because of me, when really it's like, no, that's the way that the person deals with the situation. Spiritual blocks create sabotaging behavior. So if a person doesn't really believe that they're allowed to have love, they will continually sabotage the connection. Doesn't mean that they don't want love. On a subconscious level, this person has deep-seated fears because of past experiences that they have not healed. When we do shadow healing, it allows us to dive deep and look at those real core wounds that make us feel separate, separate from having love, from being loved. Shadows are, again, parts of ourselves that we have detached, dissociated from because we've rejected, we don't like those parts. We all have parts of the self, that part of ourself, we wear a mask and we try to live from that limited perception. But that limited perception is one that we perceive as perfect instead of really finding our own unique perfection, because our own unique individuality is perfection. We just tend to, again, haven't found it. So, like I said, it's why it's created and known as the shadow. So, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you have to not just like the video, you have to subscribe to the channel. You got to write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always the underlining energy of why things are happening, right? What's the underlining energy or what's not happening, right? So, the person's like in grief, you wouldn't see any movement. You wouldn't see any, you know, anything. You just, you might be able to feel it, but you wouldn't be able to see it. Blame. I feel like you're connected to someone that, like, it's all about them, like, hiding behind the fact that if you have such great shame, and they have great shame because everything in their life manifests bad. And everything manifests, like whatever good situation comes they were in, they tend to sabotage themselves. They get in their own way. They continually get in their own way. So it's not that this person isn't smart. This person is smart. This person is good looking, smart, has all the ingredients to to like have a successful life. Now, this could be you or your person, Virgo, but I'm feeling it's like a person that you're connected to, that you're connected to somebody that, again, has problems within their life. And it's a one that's spiritual, it's deep spiritual issue. And there's one where they don't like themselves, they don't believe that they're deserving of love. And that's because of the situation that have happened within their life. I feel like they thought that you were gonna come back to them. They really thought that they knew you. They thought that you were going to come back, that you were going to be really affected by, them not being in your life, that and I feel like you turn the energy around where it's like you showed them that you didn't care. Your life actually did better without them in your life because your focus was more on yourself. And so the thing is, this person waited and waited and waited because they were so stuck in their ego of, I know how you're going to act. I know you're going to come back to me. I know that you're going to come back to me. You're eventually going to come back to me. Why? Because I know how much you like me. I know how much because the hours and time that you gave me, and I wasn't really giving you anything. So it's again, now they're impatient. And they're impatient because it's again, they know that they didn't treat you right. So every day that goes by, I feel like is like feels like a week or 2 weeks. Like it's like time is like not moving. Where that's why this person is becoming really impatient because they're like, why haven't you come back? Like, I can't believe that your life is that happy without me. Like someone must be entertaining you, which is another reason why. So this person again tends to think of things from their level of consciousness. And their level of consciousness is that they're, not a trustworthy person. The thing is, they know that you are a trustworthy person, which is actually fucking with them even more because they're like, no, but this person wouldn't do this. I know I know who this person is. So they're actually like so like sad, but then also like moody, where they're just like, because they're all over the place again, becoming really, really, really imbalanced. And it's because they were prideful. They're prideful because they again weren't really faithful to you. They weren't honest to you. They showed you a lot of again mistrust. And so they know that you're like disappointed, so which brings them back to again shame. So they have like this energy where they tend to detach from themselves, and they detach, it's that disassociation. It's, I know what happened, but emotionally, I don't know what I feel. There's a numbness to it because, again, of that original trauma that happened to them in childhood. Again, so they act out in negativity, eventually making people not really care, because of their selfishness. But their selfishness is the fact that they don't really feel strong within themselves. So there's this underlining energy that like they're afraid to like come back because it's like, of course you're gonna come tell me exactly what I already know, which is that I'm selfish. It's like I don't know why I do that. So they know that you're gonna blame them. And again, doubt that they, can't really fix themselves, won't really fix themselves. So, which makes them feel powerless. And that's what gives them the anxiety and the worry. And then what happens is they get out of balance where they get jealous because again, they can't like take the criticism, but they can definitely dish it out, right? So this person I feel like bobs back and forth from feeling insecure to being cocky, insecure, which is really difficult energy to like work with. And that's because they're emotionally all over the place. They know what they did, know how they treated you, they know how, you know, playing games and holding back. So we're going to look at some hidden truths. We're going to look at some hidden truths to see how they really feel. I remember every detail of that day. So the last time that you and this person were together, I feel like you had an intimate moment. So that might be when you held hands, you kissed. There was something that they keep replaying in their mind. It's like they hold on to it. So maybe again at the time it was full of passion. It was real, and that's what this person knows. And it's again, I don't think they ever felt that um thing. And just again, I think that in the beginning, maybe you weren't going to meet this person, you weren't going to show up, or they perceived that you weren't going to show up, and then you did show up. So then you showed this person that you did care about them and that there was a chance. And it's again, so they're remembering how they felt. They keep bringing up that feeling of how they felt. It's like they're manifesting you back. I feel like I want to be more than friends. It's like, again, this person is like, I don't know how I'm gonna get you back. So, but I think that they think the only way to get you back is to be friends, but then they don't want to be friend zoned. There's a sense of being afraid that they're going to be friend zoned because they love you. They're like, oh, then if I get friend zoned, this is not gonna like work out. So this person has a real hard time with, being vulnerable. And so they're having to like what I see here to be like, well, I love this person and we're in separation. And so now I have to figure out a way to come back. So that we have to be fair and look and see what the triggers were. What did this person do? Bluff. I feel like again, that like there was a sense of acting like they didn't care, right? So acting like downplaying the connection, you know, didn't really think that you were going to leave, didn't really think that you were going to like gambled with the relationship too much because they didn't like make it a priority. It was almost like you were always going to be there, didn't value the connection. Again, upside down. And so that made you feel again like, are we together? Are we not together? Do you like me? Do you not like this? The person like wouldn't let it get off the ground, though there was this sense of that there was a connection. Like kind of like putting like you always felt like you were being put on hold again and like them not being honest, like keeping you on the hook, but not really giving anything to the connection. So that's what they did. And so and that made what made you again, I think, walk away from this person. I'm so sorry. So they're sorry. I know that they want to come back into your life. They want to, because they miss you. And they're like, I kind of learned my lesson. So even if I didn't really 100% learn my lesson, which is actually what I'm feeling, that this person like has spiritual blocks about like what they're supposed to do. So they tend to overthink. And when they overthink, they get overstimulated. So they feel like, oh, let me do nothing. Because when you do nothing, you can't really get blamed. The problem is in relationships, you have to have an open heart. You have to live more intuitively, not strategically. And it's not about let me give less and then let's see how you respond to that, because then the person is already thinking that you're cheap or that you don't really care. And that's really what happened here. It's like this person like felt more comfortable. It's again, it was a little bit like, yes, I feel comfortable coming from that place, but I also believe that you would fall for it. And that's really what they're seeing is that you didn't fall for it. It's like, our sorry isn't over. They're like, I can still feel you. And it's like, and and this is this person's perception. So they might not have come back. That might be the frame of mind that they need to hold on to in order for them to come back because they don't feel strong with themselves. Like I said, this person's manifesting you back. So like whether you want them to or not, they're like, wait, our story isn't over. It's like because I think that what we had was real. I might not have seen that it was real. It's again, but it's like they're a little afraid also to like to they're a little bit afraid to like come back to you because the connection is intense. First of all, it's like there's a lot of emotion. That number two, you have a sharp tongue. Is that spirit saying like you can be very direct, and this person, like I said, has a problem where they take everything like and like personally. So it's again, is it going to be like a showdown? They don't want it to be into that where it turns into negativity, because that's normally what happens, not because that's who you are. This person is coming from their wound. They tend to perceive everything through that perception. And then they'll act arrogant and like again, and the arrogancy is almost like a pride. I'm gonna hide behind this shadow because you're making me feel like insecure. It's again where it's all about self-observation, right? Self-examination by what's in the unconscious mind. This person needs healing in the fact of why they, navigated this relationship the way they did to begin with, which is really the disassociation of, again, I'm afraid to get close. I'm afraid to really open up my heart because on some level, again, the trauma from what has happened in their young childhood life is still like playing out within their relationships. So it's again, yeah, it's finding what was lost, right? What was lost. It's about going inward, spiritual quest in order to find. Look here, we see it again, the imbalance, the de-equilibrium. It's like again of that imbalance because you're upping your mind too much and you're not integrating the heart and becoming also from that. It's about being emotionally intelligent, not just about being logical and analytical. If we're so logical and analytical with everything, we're not going to feel connected to people because people, again, they connect through how they feel, not really. I mean, their mind maybe a little bit. You can have common interests, but it's the warmth, it's the camaraderie, it's you know, the similarities. Even if it's just, hey, we're into the same thing, that there's common interests, that there's a common that binds people together, and that's an emotional aspect. So this person needs to see again that's really what needs to be healed. Labyrinth, again, lost. It's like it's complicated because the person needs to go inward. It's again a spiritual quest into integrating the shadow, which I don't believe the person would actually be doing that. I mean, wow, this turned into a really spiritual reading. More than anything else, yeah, exploration to find a new way, to find this person's unique way. See, if a person grew up in an environment where they believe that they weren't loved, they're going to form behaviorisms that are in alignment with that. And so I believe that your person was trying to live from a persona. This persona was that they didn't feel and that they were strong, almost like they cut their feelings off. Where again, now they come into contact with someone like you that is a soulmate, is someone that they're sorry, they miss you. There is this unconditional love that it makes the person change. Fire, passion does that. So we ask, I've been giving my power away to people in my life. I'm learning boundaries. So it's again, this person, I believe, like departmentalized a lot. So it had an overbearing family, again, past like a relationship, just people and friends, it could even be, where if we're not really in our truth living in a life that we're going to be emotionally satisfied also through our relationships, we are going to give too much time and energy towards the people that are already in our life, such as friends and family, which is, you say, well, what's the bad thing? Well, then they're not doing their part. See, friends and family shouldn't be asking people to, be helping them financially and be helping them. Like every single person has the spirit part of themselves. Every single person has the power to create their own heaven on earth. So the fact that there's shadows makes us feel separate from this unconditional love. So we form these behaviorisms to adapt to those perceptions, but those things actually are what sabotage the connection. And that's what happened. This person created behaviorisms that sabotaged this connection because, again, they that subconsciously feel that they don't love, but that spirit part of self, when it's real unconditional love, well, understand it makes us do things that we normally wouldn't do. That's why it's seen as supernatural energy. So this connection is very spiritual, and this whole reading is very spiritual. And this person is like, well, wait a minute. It's like, I'm not even living my own life. It's like, do I love my life? I thought that that was love. And we can confuse being manipulated as like like we're being a martyr, like we're being so good, right? We can confuse guilt for love. Like, well, why do I feel so bad? And so understand it is a love, but it's a love with attachment. So the love that we all want to obtain is love that has no attachment. And that only happens by becoming our true self, by healing again the effects of that trauma. And that psychological trauma in this situation is person didn't feel loved. And so what happened is when a person doesn't feel loved by their environment, they overgive a lot of times. If the again the family, because it's almost like, well, love has conditions. And the love that has conditions always like is not a healthy love. We want a love that's again unconditional, meaning like I can't help it. Like I might even hate this person sometimes, but I love this person. I hate this person because this person triggers me. This person shows me how I am or shows me a different way of life that feels uncomfortable to me, but I love them. I can't help it. It's like I can't stop thinking about that person. That's a divine connection. But understand it's a divine one that's hopefully creating awareness. And that's what we see within this story. I need you to trust me and believe I am walking towards union with you. So they're coming back. And that's, again, well, obviously, because they miss you. And that's what it said it. I love you. I miss you, and that they're working their process. Now, if you're going to sit there and be like, well, I'm on time schedule, you know, it's not going to work, because this person is figuring it out. But if it's unconditional, when our conversations are lighthearted and playful, it eases the tension that is sometimes there when we talk. And I think because you two deal with life so differently, your approach to life is different. It's not someone that you, I feel like, would have chosen for yourself or vice versa. But it's a divine love is one that's like, wow, like it's the opposite. If anything, I would never choose you. You're like, logically, you don't make sense in my world. But it's like, but I can't, there's something, I can't stop thinking about you. And however, the way that you think, your approach to life is so over the top, where you might be like, well, you're like everyday thing is the same all the time. It's like almost like Groundhog's Day, where spirit's saying, I bring together because both of you will balance each other out. Love helps us compromise, helps us see things from a different way, helps us integrate. So again, the tension is the fact that this person still gets triggered, and again to be um, themselves because again they never felt safe, and you're very direct. And so again, and so and they take criticism, They see everything through that. And that's so learning how to speak the words that you use, again, will be something that you'll most likely learn how that language is a big thing within relationships. I'm listening to my higher self now, and the higher power is guiding me. So again, person's moved into, again, that space of unconditional love, which is, again, that higher self. The higher self is the God part of self that connects us to the universe, that connects us to each other, that's of unconditional love. It's when we come to a place of surrender. This person, again, doesn't really know how to even surrender. It's because they grew up in survival. So they're learning, and they're learning through this relationship. I'm just looking for this deck because I always like to say, well, why did you attract this person into your life? Because we're a magnet of who and what comes into our life, right? So this person, we already learned, they're learning the lessons of unconditional love. But what are your inner child wounds? Why would you attract this person? What do you need to learn? And so again, when younger, you were belittled, made to feel not good about yourself. Well, again, this person made you feel not good about yourself. And again, you called their bluff. Really, that's what happened. They thought that they were going to call your bluff. And what happened is that backfired. You called their bluff because you're like, no, I know I deserve more than that. Again, a joy. And joy is just happiness. It's you're not making me happy. You don't make me feel good. And we can all know when we're children and we don't feel joy, we grew up not seeing it within our family as well. It would be felt as robbed. So again, crafts and creativity, this just kind of flipped over, but we're going to take it. So I would say also you've invested time in yourself. You've invested time in things that you enjoy to do. And whether that's for a lot of you, it is your work. And so when you invest in yourself, you become yourself, you find yourself. And that's really what does bring you joy. That's the irony of it. It's not other people, it's that those other people can bring some joy, and they can bring joy that lasts a lifetime if it's balanced. But if we see the same person over and over and over and over again over time, then there's a sense that we don't have that. It's how we have to be able to live our own unique individual life and then return to it. So again, finding yourself. And well, I already picked three, but now I'm I'm gonna take another one just because. So taking your innocence, finding your innocence again. And I believe that when you're creating yourself, it is a way of finding your innocence. It's a way of play. There is no ownership or expectations when becoming yourself. It's just a process. And innocent people, again, they don't think that it needs to be a certain way or look a certain way. They believe that your innocence was robbed because you, again, grew up in an environment that told you that you should already know what your process is. That wasn't the case. It's again that where if we grew up in an environment that made us not feel safe, again, on a psychological level, well, we are not gonna, it's gonna take our joy to the fact that a lot of times we don't create ourselves. We're too busy in survival, worried about those type of things. And then the mind goes to other, areas because of, again, fragmentation. Disassociation is a form of fragmentation. So I believe that you and this person have a lot in common in that. So again, not uncommon because life goes to life. You're a mirror of who and what comes into your life. And I was again kept being told to pull. So it's not uncommon if there's trauma to have a lot of inner child wounds. And those inner child wounds based on self-love, believing that you're allowed to have love, being open to receiving love, not just giving love without attachment. Because again, if the roots aren't strong, stability is very difficult to achieve. The roots means you're connected to yourself, you're in your body, you're in the moment, you're in the here and now, and you're actually interactive in life, in the moment, letting spirit guide you. And yes, you have to logically think, but you're being led with your heart. So you're open to receiving and being able to give and receive. Our society is slowly, again, making it so that we have to protect our heart and to disassociate. And that creates a lot of fragmentation. And that fragmentation, like I said, makes us feel separate from love. And so it's all about coming back to love. And so spirit, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is that higher self. And that higher self, when we are a clear conduit for spirit to work through. And that's sometimes just getting to a place of unconditional love. So I think that spirit used you as a catalyst to help heal. And I think that this relationship, again, if you give it a chance, because this person is like change, they're coming back a different person, that you can again be in a good relationship with this person. That's what I think. And so we always have free will. And so I always ask spirit, well, if we decide to be with this person, what energy should person integrate? The Virgos that want to be in this relationship, because this is a collective reading. So some of you are gonna be like, nah, it's too hard. But if it's a real unconditional love, you be like, nah, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Just because you're like, I know I shouldn't, but I'm going to do it anyway. And spirit says you shouldn't. You'd be like, well, based on past experiences. And then spirit said, then we cannot base anything on past experiences. Again, only in the moment, only in the now. We base our life. Again, in goodness, I refine my character and overcome difficulties by remaining positive. I calm my heart and illuminate my intellect to transform shadow into light. I consciously manifest goodness in and around me. I improve my qualities for the benefit of all. I feel like this person's a mirror. I feel like what spirit is saying is it's like you're getting this soulmate. It's again can be perceived as a karmic mate, because obviously somebody that triggers you is going to make you react a certain way. And what spirit is saying is, I don't like how some of your reactions may be, but you wouldn't know what they are unless I paired you up with this person. So understand they are a mirror, and it will show you where you need to be healed. And if you approach the relationship from a place of saying, like, this is a real spiritual, and that's why I said this whole like reading is really like a spiritual one, where I don't always do spiritual readings, and I'm kind of surprised. But what spirit is saying is like, no, it's all about where the Virgo is. Where the Virgo is they need to refine their character and overcome difficulties by remaining positive, that they calm their heart and illuminate their intellect to transform shadow into light. I consciously manifest goodness. So it's again, happiness is an inside job. It's like how much heart, how much love, how much energy you're going to put into something. And to continue to do that, you'll connect to different people and situations that will help also support you. And to refine your character is to learn like how to not just what you think, because if a person's triggering you, obviously you're going to think a lot of different things, but how you react. Will you curse this person out? Will you scream? Will you yell? Will you How will you deal with the stressful times? And so it's about, again, making this relationship is all about transmuting your spiritual blocks. I see it as that it's possibly a twin flame relationship from a spiritual standpoint, this reading. And we know that also twin flame readings usually come to create something together in order to help them transmute those blocks. But what what actually brings them together at first is unconditional love. After the runner and the chaser, and they flip, meaning they swap places. So that's what Spirit is saying. If you can look at the relationship like that, um, and to improve your qualities for the benefit of all, like that's the last line. I improve my qualities for the benefit of all. So that's what it is, to become more emotionally intelligent for this person. And maybe for you, this person brings business sense. Maybe they bring real grounded energy that you need to integrate. So again, that twin flame relationship is always, again, the opposites. And so those opposites traits are able to be integrated through unconditional love, through the fact that there is passion that you have with this person, there is unconditional love. However, it's complete different energy that's difficult to balance. And what this person sees is it's also not, they can't control it like they tried to. And what happened is they got all imbalanced and they stayed imbalanced, and which is a horrible feeling. It's one where you're just in regret and looping and just like, I can't stop thinking about you. Like, and what I did and how I feel my life is over. And it's like, because of that, there's a sense of that energy, which is what makes them inevitably change. And that's what our relationships are supposed to do. They're supposed to bring out the best version of ourselves. They usually don't need to be this turbulent, but when both parties need healing, deep-seated healing, inner child healing like this, where they didn't feel good enough, they didn't feel loved well. This is what it is. I'm going to leave that there, Virgo. You let me know whether you resonate, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.